Coming up on Sports Paws, the women's basketball team faced off against the Fairfield Stags in the fight for the number 1 spot in the MAAC.
The men's basketball team also took on the Stags, looking to extend their winning streak.
And the Acrobatics and Tumbling team faced off against Morgan State at home to open up their season.
All that and more coming up on Sports Paws right now. Welcome back to another episode of Sports Paws. I'm Samantha Shaw.
And I'm Brianna Trachtenberg. It was rivalry week for both basketball teams as women's basketball started it off down in Fairfield. Number 1 Fairfield versus number 2 Quinnipiac. The Stags are perfect in MAAC play this season, but Quinnipiac can take control of first place with a win. Just look at them getting hyped and ready for today's game. But Fairfield strikes first often and early, and everybody's going to touch the ball here. Sydney Scott finds KT Lambert across the court, and she drills a free from the corner. 10-0 run here for the Stags. But fighting back, Ella O'Donnell goes on a run of her own. Spin move floater goes, 10-6 Stags. Then Gawaviv drives and finds O'Donnell wide open. 6 points for the junior early on. Raviv drives the step back, capping a back and forth first quarter. 17-14 Stags. Moving into the second, Raviv just keeps it going. Step back, jumper, rattles in for 2. Then you see Coach Fabry calling out plays from the sideline as the Bobcats try to break ahead. It's Carson Martin driving, kick out to Grace LaBerge, 3-pointer, 23-20 Bobcats. They get their first lead of the game. Later on, with under 5 to play, Fairfield Cyan Co hits a big triple up top. Fairfield rides a 36-32 lead going into the second half. Lambro driving inside, puts it in off the glass. Then Julian Herder, Little Hesse from the wing, sticks the jumper over LaBerge, 52-47 Stags. Later on in the third, Raviv keeps the Bobcats in it with another drive, tying it up 52-52. Moving into the fourth quarter, and guess who it is? It's Raviv off the dribble with another deep mid-range to keep the game tied. 21 points for the first year. The Stags are just relentless though. Megan Anderson finds Co inside for the bucket. Then Lambo lays it up the next possession. The Bobcats send her to the line as a last resort, but she hits her shots with ease. The Bobcats fall to the Stags 72-63 and will face off against them in Hamden later this season.
On Friday, the Bobcats looked to bounce back at home against the Siena Saints, and the Bobcats pulled away in a back-and-forth battle, 77-74, to improve 17-3 on the season. Gawaviv had a career-high day, scoring a career-high 32 points with 8 assists and 7 rebounds. Quinnipiac will head up north next week to take on Canisius and Niagara, looking to gain some ground with Fairfield in the MAAC. To no one's surprise, Gawaviv has been named the MAAC Rookie of the Week for the 8th time this season. Not only that, but Raviv also won MAAC Player of the Week award for the first time. The first-year guard averaged 26.5 points per game in the past week and set a career high of 32 points during the game against Siena. Raviv also averaged 3.5 rebounds per game and 7 assists this past week. She is currently 4th in the MAAC per points per game and leads all first years. As the rivalry continued to the men's basketball team look to continue their hot streak against Fairfield. Quinnipiac versus Fairfield, Bobcats versus Stags in-state rivalry Friday night in the MAAC. Doug Young and the Bobcats looking to improve 9-1 in the MAAC play for the second straight season. Jumping into the first half, 4 minutes in, Amari Monroe can't finish. Caden Bennett grabs the rebound and can't get it to go, but Paul Otieno cleans up the glass with a third chance opportunity. Bobcats started off the game with a 12-5 run. How about some more second chances opportunities? Kyle Jenkins misses but Dion Perry finds the ball on the offensive glass for the triple, one of Perry's 6 threes of the day. Moments later, Alexis Reyes kicks out Jaden Zimmerman. Jay has the blueprint on how to get a bucket with behind the midi. Midway through the second half, Caden Bennett got things going with the corner 3, flexing it on the crowd. Bennett again showing off the muscles inside with a tough layup. The Bobcats pushed this to a 15-point lead late in the second half. How about some defense as Amari Monroe gets the deflection and lets the crowd know which way it's going. Final minutes, Bobcats breaking the press. Zimmerman knocks down the dagger. Look at that little celebration as he enjoys it. After a few free throw exchanges, former high school QB Amari Monroe got to show off his arm with the one-hop pass to Paul Otiento for the slam. Bobcats took care of their business on the home court, 81-69.
M&T Bank Arena was packed on Friday with over 2,800 fans in attendance. Q30's Thomas Curtis has more on how Friday's atmosphere helped the Bobcats take home the win.
It was an electric atmosphere Friday night right behind me in the student section at M&T Bank Arena as the Quinnipiac Bobcats played host to the Fairfield Stags at Lender Court. It's rivalry week across the country, and Bobcat Nation showed out for when Quinnipiac played host to their cross-state enemy. Tom Pecora and company wish the team got the same kind of attendance every game.
Oh, the crowd was awesome. I mean, whatever we got to do to keep the student body coming like this, I mean, whatever it takes. I'll buy the kegs of beer, man. You know, just get them here. Like, you only do the college thing once, you know? So this is part of the experience. You can have fun coming to a game. And these are competitive games, especially not just when we're playing Fairfield, but when we're playing everybody. You know, these are good games, and these guys are your classmates.
It was the first win versus Fairfield at the bank in 2 years, so the first for forward Amari Monroe, who had her career-high 27 points to pair with 10 rebounds in the victory.
Can't ask for a better crowd. I mean, they were great. Student section was great. They were here at like 6 o'clock, you know, ready to go. So appreciate them for sure. Hope we can get them there for more games. We'll definitely need it if we want to, you know, take this thing where we think we could take it for sure.
Those 27 points didn't come easy as Monroe was sick with the flu all week and was hooked up to an IV at one point to get him healthy for game time.
Honestly, I couldn't do it without the crowd, for sure. I mean, maybe with them a little chirping, because the chirping gets me going. But it was fun out there. You know, I was just having fun.
He helped the crowd get going towards the end of the victory as well.
I didn't even know if the crowd was going to get hyped or not, but I'm glad they did, because would have been embarrassing if they didn't. But yeah, I mean, I seen everybody waving the towels around. I'm like, wow.
Quinnipiac is 9-1 in MAAC play this year. They head to Siena Sunday to try and make it double digits in the win column. For Q30 Sports, I'm Thomas Curtis.
On Sunday, the Bobcats' win streak was snapped by the Siena Saints 84-75 in Albany, with the Saints outscoring the Bobcats in the second half by 20 points. In the loss, Amari Monroe scored 28 points over 37 minutes on the court, setting a new career high for the second time this weekend. Siena's Justice Showat scored 22 points, and the freshman Gavin Dottie scored 19. Quinnipiac moves to 9-2 in the MAAC and will host 2 games this upcoming weekend against Canisius and Niagara.
Sam, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's acrobatics and tumbling season.
Here with all the things you need to know about the upcoming season is Q30's Katie Velukovic.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at the Quinnipiac Acrobatics and Tumbling team ahead of their season opener against Morgan State. So first, in some news, that this year, Chloe White and Tiffany Ziba were hired as assistant coaches this year. They were both on the team from 2021 to 2024, and they were a part of the 2 titles from last year and the 4 individual event titles in 2023. Now let's take a look at the NCATA preseason polls. In first place is Baylor University with 699 points. They got 42 out of the 47 first place votes, with their 8 consecutive national championships, including last year. Now this team is going to be a challenge for Quinnipiac this year, so we will see how they do later on in the season. Now sitting at number 2 is Quinnipiac with 619 votes. They got 1 first place vote, and last year they got the national championship for open pyramid and 6-element tumbling. Sitting at number 3 is Gannon University with 601 points, with 3 first place votes. They were national champions for synchronized pyramid and synchronized toss. Number 4 is University of Oregon with 592 points and 1 first place vote. They averaged a 269.806 points from all 6 events last year. And rounding out the top 5 is the University of Mary Harlan Baylor with 433 points. They competed in 5 of the 6 elements in the finals last year, and they were the first D3 team to compete in the NCATA National Championships. The Bobcats begin their season this Sunday against Morgan State, and noticeable teams that they will be facing are the LAU Sharks on February 22nd and the University of Oregon on March 23rd, which will be a big meet for the Bobcats. Back to you guys at the desk.
With the season officially underway, the Bobcats look to start their year off on the right foot. Quinnipiac Acrobatics and Tumbling opens up their season at home, facing off against Morgan State for the second time in program history. Both teams getting set for the 6 rounds of competition to come. In the compulsory, Alyssa Dillon and Emily St. Orange flip for the air in unison during their toss portion. Next, in the acro round, Morgan State's Rayla Buckner presses down from a handstand as Lauren Perkins slides into a split for the Bears. Just look at the strength and the balance on those two. They earn a 7.7, but Quinnipiac leads by 6 points with a total score so far of 66.65 to 60.65. Now, during the pyramid portion of the competition, the Bobcats display balance and strength with this one here, having multiple athletes airborne at the same time, getting a 9.85 and bringing the total up to 96.05. In the toss round, Alyssa Dillon again, but this time with a double twisting tuck open, the Bobcats score a 9.55. Going to tumbling, it's Gabriella Pierce with the elaborate pass for Quinnipiac in the 6th element heat of the competition, scoring a remarkable 9.825. Finishing off the team event, Morgan State wows the crowd with their tumbling passes, and Quinnipiac takes the mat, displaying their acro skills once more, earning themselves a 92.74. Bobcats win 270.565 to 246.745.
This past weekend, the Acrobatics and Tumbling team signed their Team Impact player to the official 2025 season roster.
I talked with members of the team after their meet on what it meant to them and the impact it had on the Quinnipiac community. On Sunday, the Quinnipiac Acrobatics and Tumbling team signed Sophia, the Team Impact player, to the official 2025 season roster. Team Impact is a program that matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams.
That the impact is dual-fold. We think we're making a difference for her, but the real truth is she's making a difference for us.
Sophia Latiro signed her letter of intent with the Bobcats on Sunday to mark the official start of her Quinnipiac career.
Sophia's been so impactful, I think, for everyone. I know all of us over there were tearing up as she was signing.
At just 12 years old, Sophia has undergone 90 rounds of treatment to help battle her cancer, showing just how strong she truly is.
Listen, 12 years old and 90 treatments, really? As a cancer survivor myself from the past 2 years, it's hard.
For the Latiro family, the support from the Quinnipiac community goes beyond what happens on the mat.
Quinnipiac is an amazing place. Everyone here has been so kind, so generous, so thoughtful. To be formally part of this is it's an amazing opportunity for Sophia and for all of us.
Today's celebration was filled with Sophia's friends, family, and her very own Quinnipiac jersey. Sophia will remember this day as one simple word.
It was fun.
Sophia will continue to support the team on the sidelines and at practice throughout the remainder of the season. Reporting from M&T Bank Arena, Brianna Trachtenberg, Q30 Sports.
It's always so nice to see teams give back to the community. We need to take our first break of the night, but when we come back, women's ice hockey hosted Ivy League foes Harvard and Dartmouth for a 2-game weekend and welcomed a familiar face back to the rink. Plus, an instant classic for the men's ice hockey team up at Dartmouth as the Bobcats look to gain some ground in the tournament field. Sports Paws will be right back after this.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because it felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, It's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Yes. I do my best reaching out to my brothers and sisters in arms.
Have you ever asked for help yourself?
Most of us, we're not gonna admit that we need to help.
You don't have someone to kind of help you guide those thoughts. It can be really bad.
It's just a beautiful space when someone can trust you and say, listen, I need help.
Welcome back to Sports Paws, and thanks for sticking with us. On Friday, the women's ice hockey team took on the Harvard Crimson here in Hamden. After a scoreless first period, Quinnipiac led shots on goal 9-4. Then, with less than 5 minutes to go in the second, Maya Labad put on the Bobcats' board, scoring her 13th goal of the season. Kendall Cooper increased their lead early in the third period before Harvard responded with a goal of their own, but the Bobcats held on to defeat the Crimson 2-1. The team looked for a weekend sweep at home on Saturday against Dartmouth. Last time out in Hanover, New Hampshire, the Bobcats took down the Big Green 2-1 in overtime. Can they pull off the season sweep? A funky bounce off the referee turns chaotic for the Big Green as Bryn Pryor finds Maddie Samaskevich in front and she rips it to the back of the net. It's 1-0 Bobcats early on in this one. Heading into the next 20 minutes of play, the Bobcats controlled a lot of the possession in the offensive zone, but just couldn't capitalize on it. Here on the power play, Kendall Cooper tries to find Maya Labad in the slot, but it just misses her stick. Still on that power play, the Bobcats get the cycle game going again. Samaskevich finds Labad and she takes a shot from the point, but it gets blocked and cleared out by the Big Green. The score will stay 1-0 heading into the break. In the final frame, the Bobcats go back on the power play and they don't miss this time. Cooper takes a shot from the point, and after a frenzy in front of the net, Samaskevich tucks in her second goal of the afternoon. It's now 2-0 Bobcats. Dartmouth pulls their goalie trying to pick up a goal. It's 6-on-5 in Dartmouth's favor, but the Bobcats had other plans as Catherine Stockdale puts the puck on goal from the left wall, and it goes in for the third Bobcat goal of the afternoon. The Bobcats sweep the weekend and pick up 6 crucial points in the ECAC standings as they move into fourth jumping over the Clarkson Golden Knights. Quinnipiac will take on Clarkson next weekend along with the St. Lawrence Saints heading up to the North Country.
One former Bobcat returned to Hamden this past Saturday, but this time on the opposite side of the bench. Q30's Anthony Rossi has more on the story.
After almost 170 games played and 124 points in a Bobcat uniform, former co-captain Sadie Peart made her long-awaited return to M&T Bank Arena. Now this time, though, she was on the opposing bench, coaching an ECAC rival, the Dartmouth Big Green.
I've been very grateful for my time at Quinnipiac and everything I've learned, so coming back, it brings a lot of joy and happiness, and now being with a new family at Dartmouth, it's been a surreal experience, especially being in a different role on the bench, so it's a little bit different, but it's been an amazing experience, I would say.
Peart left such a long-lasting legacy and scored probably one of the most important goals in Quinnipiac history, even though in different colors. The team agrees that Peart will be a Bobcat for life.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, she's had a mind for coaching, a mind for the game, and the way that she played. You know, she's such her IQ in the game is just amazing as a player. So I think now for her to be able to share that and make a difference with the athletes around her, it's really neat. I know that Maura's loved having her on her staff, and it's awesome to see her doing so well.
Yeah, I mean, she was my captain, so I kind of learned so much from her, and I think that I'm the person and the player I am today because of her, just because like she taught me all the right things to do. And so seeing her as a coach, it's awesome because I know just the stuff she taught me, she's definitely teaching those girls on Dartmouth, and they're having a great season, so I think that she's doing awesome there and thriving. So
it's surreal. I mean, a lot of emotions come with that. I was emotional coming to the rink today. I didn't think I was going to get emotional during this, but just to know how special those girls are in that locker room, it means a lot.
Nearing the end of Peart's inaugural season as assistant coach, the Big Green take on Yale and Brown next weekend, but the Bobcats have tougher road competition as they take on the North Country's St. Lawrence and Clarkson, 2 top 10 opponents. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Anthony Rossi.
After the Bobcats swept their weekend at home, let's see where they rank on the USCHO polls.
Quinnipiac moves up one spot to number 9 in the rankings. Wisconsin, Ohio State, and Minnesota all stay in their respective spots as Cornell and Colgate switch to round out the top 5. It's a tight race in the Hockey East Conference as well, as Northeastern, BU, and BC are all within the top 15.
As for the pairwise rankings, Wisconsin still leads the pack in both the USCHO and pairwise rankings. Sacred Heart currently sits outside of the top 11, but since they lead their conference, they would get into the NCAA tournament. Quinnipiac sits at number 9, right behind St. Lawrence, and the two teams will clash in Canton, New York this Friday.
The men's ice hockey team took a trip up north to New Hampshire to face off against the Big Green.
Yeah, Brianna, they were looking to get revenge after losing to Dartmouth at home earlier this season.
Top 20 matchup in New Hampshire, the Big Green and the Bobcats squaring off for the second time this season. Quinnipiac lost game 1 at home. Puck behind the net now, Braden Dorfman passes to Sean Chisholm, and he takes advantage of the chaos, splits the gap, and scores it 2-1 Dartmouth.
Quinnipiac on the attack. Jack Ricketts on the breakaway. He fools Emmett Crotow with the backhand shot and scores. It's tied up 2-2.
About 30 seconds left before intermission. Bobcats moving the puck. Charlie Letty rips a shot, top corner, and scores. First goal of the season for the Doubles draftee. Quinnipiac goes to the third, up 3-2.
Dartmouth CJ Foley takes a shot, but Dylvin Silverstein makes the save. Guy can't contain the rebound though, and Alex Krause makes them pay. It's tied at 3. We'll see a replay. Ian Pierce gets a stick on it. The puck just bounces around the crease, and Krause taps it in.
7 minutes left. John Fusco corrals the puck and rips a shot. Chaos up front, and Cam McDonald knocks it in with his body. Take another look. Dartmouth retakes the lead. It's 4-3.
But you can't cut out these Bobcats. Shot from the newcomer Drew Hockley, and Jack Ricketts strikes again off the deflection. We're all tied up at 4.
The Bobcats waste no time in overtime. It's Ricketts on the breakaway. He collides with Crotow in net and scores hat trick. Game winner, second hat trick of the year for Ricketts. The Bobcats get revenge on the Big Green 5-4.
What a game and what a performance by Ricketts, earning him the ECAC Forward of the Week. Quinnipiac has now won 6 of their last 8 games and remain atop the standings.
After the Bobcats win against the Big Green this weekend, let's take a look to see where they fell in the USCHO polls.
Quinnipiac moved up 1 spot to number 4 team in the polls. Boston College remains on top with 48 first-place votes, followed by Michigan State at number 2. Minnesota, Western Michigan, and Maine round out the top 5.
Moving to the pairwise rankings, Quinnipiac is tied with Ohio State at number 11. If the playoffs started today, the Bobcats would be one of the last teams in the NCAA tournament. Similar to the USCHO polls, Boston College, Michigan State, and Minnesota all remain in the top 3. Maine sits in the top 4 spot, with Western Michigan closing it out for number 5. We've got to hit the locker room for our second break of the night, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the preseason men's lacrosse rankings and awards.
And it's the best time of the night. The top 5 plays of the week are just around the corner. So don't go anywhere. Sports Paws will be right back after this short commercial break.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Welcome back to Studio 125. Women's indoor track and field competed on Friday at the Terrier Classic hosted by Boston University, recording 4 MAAC best times. Senior Riley Smith topped the MAAC charts and sits at the top of the league along with Sydney Lavelli, Izzy Azalondo, and Alyssa Romanaggio. First-year Kira Baxter also earned a spot at the top of the league. Overall, Quinnipiac scored 7 new times on the program's top 10 list.
Spring is right around the corner, and the men's lacrosse preseason poll has sprouted once again. Siena has returned as the preseason favorites with earning a lead high of 72 votes and 3 first-place votes. Defending MAAC champion Sacred Heart followed behind with 6 first-place votes. Marist, Quinnipiac, and Manhattan rounded out the top 5. The Bobcats will start their season off on February 14th away at UMass Amherst.
On Wednesday, Mason Oak was named the 2025 preseason MAAC Player of the Year. The senior lacrosse goalie ended the 2024 season ranked nationally in both saves per game and save percentage. He was also named a USA Lacrosse preseason All-American. Oak and the Bobcats will start the 2025 season on Friday, February 14th at UMass. You know, we all talk a lot about polls here on Sports Paws, from the USCHO to preseason polls.
Well, now it's time for one of our own polls, Sports Paws Top 5 Plays of the Week.
Play 5, Gal Raviv off the dribble, long 2 off the step back is money. Bobcats fall to the Stags on the road.
Play 4, Bridle for the puck, Bryn Pryor passes it back to set Maddie Samuels-Gamage. Nasty shot from the assistant captain. Quinnipiac wins 3-0.
Play 3, Amari Monroe showing off the arm. Call the Giants, they need a quarterback. He finds Paul Otieno wide open for the dunk. Bobcats roll past her in state rivals.
Play 2 is Gabriella Pierce with the 6th element pass. Just look at her go. She's flipping awesome, Sam. Bobcats start the year 1-0.
And play number 1, Jack Ricketts on the breakaway in overtime. Backhands it into the net through contact. He gets mobbed by the fellas. One more look. Handles the puck one-handed and shoots while getting tripped. Walk-off win for the Bobcats on the road.
This weekend was International Girls and Women in Sports Weekend. Q30 Beat reporters made a special package on the events this weekend.
On Saturday, Quinnipiac Athletics celebrated National Girls and Women in Sports Day with a doubleheader for women's basketball and women's ice hockey.
Both teams came through today with the win and celebrated with the fans their impact they have off and on the court/ice. Fans describe what it means to them to feel equal support in the sports that they watch and its importance to women and girls.
I just like it because a lot of the time people root for the men's team more than the women's team, whereas now the women can actually be appreciated to their full glory.
Transitioning from the hardwood to the ice, the love is all the same as the families of Quinnipiac athletes detail how pivotal it is for young girls to be introduced and accepted into the world of sports.
Yes, I would say taking her to a lot of New York Rangers games before she started playing hockey and begging us to, her mother and I, to let her start playing, and she was playing lacrosse and soccer and a lot of other things. We finally gave up the fight, and it was a good idea. She's really enjoyed her hockey career and the opportunities that it's given her.
These impressions do not go unnoticed as women's ice hockey head coach Cass Turner defines her newfound appreciation about the growing opportunities for girls of all ages and how that support can lift them up.
Oh, it's awesome. It's everything. I think now I appreciate it even more now that I have kids around that age and I see the impact that it has on them and older kids too. You know, even those that don't even play hockey, for them to feel connected to our athletes, and they learn so much about how they live their lives, and it's just amazing to have those mentors and, to see I can accomplish anything in this world, and I just need to work hard and I need to use my support. I think it's just awesome.
Female representations and role models in women's sports are incredibly important to the ever-growing industry. Support for women's sports has grown not just here at Quinnipiac, but across the nation.
For Tony Wetmore, Brittany Braun-Lieben, and Rose Carrata, I'm Meg Buckley, and we've been reporting for Q30 Sports.
Well, Sam, this sure has been fun, but unfortunately, I think our time is done.
Make sure to follow us on social media at Q30 Sports and stay connected online at Q30TV.com.
From all the producers and everyone working hard behind the scenes, she's Samantha Shaw and I'm Brianna Trachtberg. Have a splendid evening, Bobcats.